Man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to follow all of the lore cross between um the comic books and what they're introducing now. I can follow what's happening now. Like I've been keeping my eye on everything MCU. The latest one was Loki right now, and that series isn't finished yet. But I do want to see how it all ends. Um, but as far as how they're integrating everything, I still don't know how they're gonna integrate Deadpool into the series, since he's a wild card. He's basically the Joker of the deck when it comes to these characters, and he can mess everything up. And then you gotta somehow integrate the X-Men into this, and you just saw what's his name, Hugh Jackman. What did he do? He posted a picture of Wolverine and the claws coming out, and people are losing their minds. No one knows how is this all gonna get integrated. And a question that I was asking the guys was, why do you think they got rid of Scarlett Johansson? Was it something with her contract, or did
Yeah,
they?
everyone's contract was up.
Yeah, like I felt like maybe there was something going on in the studio between her and the production crew or something like that, where they're like, okay, we need to kill off this character and then introduce a new
No,
Black Widow. You know what I
they
mean?
just they just signed a 6 movie contract, or like a certain amount of contract amounts.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why Thor and Hawkeye are, I think Chris Hemsworth renewed something to do
Yeah, yeah.
another Thor, and then Hawkeye, is getting the show, but it's just all contract stuff. That's why Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, and Tony, what is his real name? Robert Downey Jr.
No,
uh
it's just Tony. It's just Tony.
stories ended. Stories ended because they're
Their
done.
contract was up, and
Yeah.
and again, if these characters are so impactful, why not just renew their contracts? If they did it for Chris Hemsworth.
But if they renew their contracts, then it's just gonna be the same people over and over, and they can't
Yeah, I
tell new
guess.
stories. And like Captain America's actually going to be an old man if they keep not if they
Hey,
keep renewing
I'm
the
perfect. I'm
contract.
perfectly fine with how they did Tony Stark. It was the greatest send off you could do for a hero at that point. I think it was great, and of course, his daughter might become the new Iron Man, or it could be Black Panther's sister. She could be the new Iron Man. Yeah, who knows?
They should not turn Siri into Ironheart. Ironheart is her own thing. I think they announced Ironheart though.
Oh, okay. So Ironheart. Okay, so then she'll be her own thing at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
You also have to introduce Blade as well. That's another aspect of the whole MCU universe. Again, this is a very very difficult job for Disney to try to integrate all of these characters into one whole MCU, and I can understand the difficult tasks that they have. Quote unquote
By
tasks.
the time we get to like Black Widow, well, Doctor Strange is gonna blow up the entire story as you
You,
know
you
it, because
think
it's
you
gonna
think
be
that's where it's gonna
multiverse.
be?
Yeah, that's
I
what
kind of
they
thought it
said.
was
It's
gonna
gonna be
be.
multiverse.
I thought it was gonna be Ant-Man,
Well,
because
no,
Ant-Man.
Spider-Man has like the start of the multiverse, where
Right.
that's why there's like a few little instances. But like Doctor Strange is good. It's Multiverse of Madness. Is the name of
Yeah,
the
it's the
movie.
name of the
Like,
actual movie. Like
yeah,
yes, it's like
so
that's
it's
what's.
gonna just change everything, and then like they'll probably, like, as the stories go on, they'll probably mention like things that happened in the past, but
Yeah.
they're gonna move on. And then we have Eternals at the end of the year,
Oh,
so
that's right too. Jeez,
they're supposed
dude,
to do all
there's.
that stuff.
I can't keep up, Joy. I can't keep. There's so many. All like there's quantum. There's the microverse. There's quantum mania. There's the multiverse. There's the. Oh my god! Like I can't keep up with this. Like you gotta understand.
Yeah.
Like there's like what is it? The Celestials. The at the edge of the universe that
You said Celestials, and now I just want you to play Guilty Gear.
like it is my I can't there's too much of material that Disney can introduce that can actually be very very lucrative for Disney. This is why Disney is trying to swallow up everything. I don't even know if they're gonna find a way to integrate Venom with Spider-Man coming up, you know what I mean? Because
I don't
Sony
think they're
still
gonna
has
be
their
able to
claws
do
on Venom,
that.
you know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
if they can integrate that, they don't want to pay out to Sony. You already know that. So that's true. Shang-Chi as well. So there's a lot going on there that I don't even know how they're gonna be able to put this all together. So them getting rid of Scarlett Johansson, I guess you're right. Like, at a certain point, the actress and actors do want to move on. They also get older. You know, obviously this isn't their life dream to be part of the MCU.
Yeah.
Most of these people don't even know anything about, you know, comic books or anything like that. They're just actors paid to play a part in a film. And a lot of people don't realize that. Is like, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, my actor did a terrible job at, you know, at said character and stuff like that." They don't know anything about the fucking character. They don't know anything about that. They will say dumb stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Avengers," or "I'm a huge fan of Guardian of the Galaxy." Shut the hell up. You don't even know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were before they even came out in the movie theaters. No one did. Shut the hell up. But the idea that these characters, like Chris Pratt, can play the part of these characters so well is mind-boggling at this point. It's like, wow, they really brought these characters to life, and they're extremely accurate to the comic book versions of what they were trying to portray. So at least Disney is doing its part to at least attempt to give the people what they want, and that is just realizing or bringing their characters to life, bringing their favorite characters to life. And sometimes it's a hit or miss, you know what I mean? They're not gonna knock it out of the park all the time, and I think that's fine. I think that some of our favorite characters are gonna get wrecked and some of them aren't. I don't really have that much of a favorite character in the MCU except for like maybe Wolverine. Was Black Widow your favorite character, Joy? Or yeah, all of them. There you go. Then so
Black Widow and Doctor Strange.
okay, those are like your favorite characters. And to your interpretation, they did a good job with her, right? Or was it like okay? Or I don't know.
No, I think Scarlett Johansson did a really good job portraying Natasha, and it made a lot of people fans of her,
Yeah.
and to get to know the character more. So I have no gripes on how she was portrayed in the movie. I mean,
Okay.
I remember when she was first announced, and they were like, "Well, she's not doing the accent." Everyone's like, "Wait, what? Isn't she Russian?" But then,
Yeah.
like, they started like sprinkling in like her
Her
using the
origins.
accent, or
Yeah.
her like
Yeah.
speaking in Russian and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So they like kind of like hinted at it, but I do remember that she was just like, "I'm not doing that accent." But then it's probably for the best, because Elizabeth Olsen's accent is all over the place as Scarlet Witch. So
Oh yeah. Oh my
Maybe
god, and
maybe.
we gotta geez, and we still have to do geez, the Scarlet Witch as well. That's another part. And
Yeah,
she's a
Scarlet
big
Witch
part.
is very tied. No, she's tied into Multiverse of Madness, because Doctor Strange and WandaVision were supposed to come out similar times to each other, but then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So
Pan de los Miratos with the $5 donation. He says, the snap could have awoken the X gene that could introduce the X-Men and the mutants to the MCU. It sent on a wave of energy across the universe, and Disney shows are setting up for the young Avengers, new actors, plus cheaper contracts. And I'm all for that. Have some younger actors and actresses that can play the parts of the X-Men, and it's gonna be a tough fill to do for Wolverine. Like, to replace Hugh Jackman is some huge shoes to fill. But if they find the right person, I'm all for it. I said the same thing about Joker. I said there's no way that anybody can replace Jack Nicholson, and Heath Ledger knocked it out of the park. So if there's hope for that, there's hope for this. Huge shoes, get it? Huge shoes. Okay, this guy's banned. Get him out of here, chat. And I think that that there's potential for the new Black Widow. Like you said, you're a fan of Black Widow. It doesn't matter which Black Widow it is, right? As long as they portray the character correctly, right? Or do you prefer?
But I think Florence Pugh is fantastic, and she did an amazing job.
Yeah, she did a
I
great job,
cannot
dude.
wait.
Like, I like the fact, like I said, I like the fact that she made fun of her sister doing the hair whip. Oh, she's so graceful. She does the hair when she does the little 3-point stance. It was so funny. Like, I was like, yeah. And then she tried it, and she's like, ugh. Like, that was great. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
like, dude, this is like, the character has personality, which is, in my personal opinion, better than Scarlett Johansson's portrayal of Black Widow. But again, that is what Black Widow is supposed to be. You know what I mean? That's the idea. The sister does quips. She has feelings, like, you know, at the dinner table with the family. because she was about to cry when the mother was like, yeah, I put this you know we figured out how to unlock the brain and manipulate it. And she was like, damn, you just did that to me too. Like, you're a horrible mother and stuff like that. So you could see that the actress is also a great actress, and she portrayed the character very well. I don't know if they had like major stunt doubles for some of her stuff, but she looks like she can fight, and that looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
As far as the pacing goes for the movie, I was pretty much engaged the entire time. And I didn't find too many parts that were like that kind of were slow. And overall, I felt that it kind of fit the MCU, the MCU's pacing of how you expect those movies to go. I give this movie, if it wasn't for Taskmaster, I would have given it a higher score, but I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I give it a solid 7.
Is fair.
Yeah, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I think it was really good. If it's a standalone, I would give it an 8. As a standalone, I give it an 8. But because you're comparing it to the rest of the MCU, you have to bring the score down a little bit because there's so many other better MCU movies. And the same thing with Taskmaster. The fact that that it was a blatant attempt to capitalize on the name, that they used Taskmaster's name and then changed him into something different. I don't respect that. If you're going to use a character like that, just make it a new character. You don't have to put that Taskmaster name in the movie just so people are like, oh, Taskmaster's in it, I gotta go see it. Like your brother's a huge Taskmaster fan. I guarantee he went to go watch the movie just to see his favorite character on screen, only to realize
he just loves Marvel.
Yeah, so yeah, and he goes there, he sees it, and he's like, oh, they ruined my favorite character. Great, you know what I mean? It's like they should have just went with a completely original character, put him in there, and then told the story from there. I think that would have been fair. 7 out of 10 for me. Joy, what do you think?
7 out of 10 is fine.
7 out of 10.
I think
Yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. I can't wait to see how this all integrates with the rest of the MCU. Obviously, they're moving on to seeing the story of the sister and how she's going to integrate with the rest of the MCU and how they're going to accept her with the Avengers. And then,
I
of course,
don't know if they're gonna set the shit out there trying to kill Hawkeye.
well, that's the thing. You know, there's gonna be some sort of revelation where it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't kill your sister. She fell on herself. She did it to save me and my family. And you're like, oh, okay, fine, I won't kill you. And then they're gonna hug and be friends. And yeah, we get what's gonna happen, but we want to see how it manifests. Maybe they'll just go a completely alternate route, have her kill him off, his contract's done, have a new Hawkeye come in, and I mean, hell, this game right here introduces...
There's a new Hawkeye.
Yeah.
In the show.
They
have Kate Bishop, Haley Seinfeld.
So who knows? Maybe they might actually have her kill him off, and then have the other Hawkeye come in, and then they'll be friends or something. I don't know. Like we'll figure it out. This whole thing again. The whole MCU is kind of... It's kind of congested right now. There's so much content that they have to fit in to put all of this together that I don't envy Disney's writers right now. There's so much to put in here that it's like, dude, how can you even fit any of this together in a complete setting? You have Kang, you have Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is a whole other world. And then you have, unfortunately, the passing of Chadwick Baldwin. I'm sorry, Boston.
Wait, who?
Chadwick Boseman. That's what I said. I said Boseman. I don't know what you said, but I said Boseman.
Is that Alec Baldwin's cousin, or
I said
what?
Boseman. So, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, it's going to be hard for them to even fill those shoes as well, because again, that's another person where I'm like, you can't replace that guy. Like, there's no actor on the planet.
They're gonna just do like Shiri or whatever, but then
yeah,
not,
I mean, but it's, I mean, yeah, it could be the sister. I don't feel like it's the same. Like, but again, canonically in the comics, she was the Black Panther at a certain point. She was. So The character didn't get enough time to establish himself as Black Panther before you pass the mantle off to the sister. That's just my personal opinion. I
Yeah.
think I think even though it's probably the most obvious and probably not the best idea, and I have to agree with Kenny on this, is that they probably should, maybe, kind of iffy, they kind of should reintroduce the evil one.
Killmonger?
Yeah,
He's
Killmonger.
dead.
Exactly. But welcome to the MCU where anything can happen. And if they do reintroduce Killmonger and just make him the Black Panther, and then he has a story arc of where he realizes what he was doing was wrong.
If you want to see that, just go watch What If. That's going to be coming out. Killmonger
This-
is the main person.
I guess. I mean, at that point, I don't know. And then you have Thor and Jane. Yeah, Jane is gonna be Thor and everything like that. Again, I don't know how they're gonna do this. It's a very difficult task. It seems like something that is extremely hard to put together. I don't envy Disney. They got the Star Wars that they got to figure out. They got MCU they got to figure out. They're eating up everything. They're trying to eat up everything, and because of that, now they're overwhelmed. And I say good luck to them. I just want to see my favorite characters, just like everybody else. You just want to see your favorite characters on screen do cool stuff. To be honest, Misty Knight, I want to see what they do with that character. I want to see what they do with Spectrum. I want to see what they do with Blue Marvel. Like, there's so much.
Blue Marvel, you stop that right.
What? You're gonna? Oh, I know you ain't talking about Blue Marvel. That's my boy right now. I
know.
Bro. Blue Marvel is going to destroy any other character in the MCU as far as likability and abilities in that entire universe. Blue Marvel is going to knock it out of the park. I guarantee it. His powers and abilities are insane. He might as well be a Dragon Ball character at this point. Like, that's how nutty he is. People have been sleeping on him for too long, and now it is time for him to shine. I'm telling you that right now.
You know, just for your sake, Steve, I hope that Blue Marvel is gonna be in the MCU.
He is. I'm telling you, you're sleeping on him. All of y'all are sleeping on him. Blue Marvel is going to knock it out of the park. And I mentioned a Misty Knight because I think there's an actress out there who's perfect for the part. She was also in this movie.
She's literally already been in the show.
She's in the show, but it's from an actress that really doesn't know much about fighting. I want to see an actress that actually knows how to fight.
That's not the actress' fault. That's just the show's.
I need to say, you know, if this actress, her name is the Sam Rider.
Samurai Show.
Yeah, no, her name is the Sam Rider. You can look her up. Look her up on Instagram. My God, this woman is amazing. She's got the perfect afro, and she's a killer beast when it comes to actually martial arts. And she could play Misty Knight to a T. She was actually in this movie. She was one of the Black Widows that they had in the background. And she's a insane martial artist. I'm like, yo, get Misty Knight, put her in there, have her go into the MCU, have her kick some ass, and let people see how Misty Knight can actually shine. Because that's all it really takes, is just a good actors and actresses playing the parts of these characters that we want to see come to life. And I'm like, dude, I'm all for it. Like, let's get that. Can she act though? Yes, she can. She definitely can. You have these no-name actors, then you have like the B-list actors who are kind of known, and like a couple people really do know of their credentials, and then you have like the A-list actors like Robert Downey Jr. and, you know, Terrence Howard and, you know,
Terrence Howard.
Hey,
next time, baby.
Hey, he did a great job in that movie, to be honest. He did a great job, and I understand why he opted out of the next one, to be honest, because there again, when you
didn't opt out of the next one. Nobody wanted him.
No, it was the fact that and they even talked about this. It was the fact that his contract, he wanted more money, and the first movie,
not worth that.
Exactly, he wasn't. But the funny thing is that his agent was so good that he actually negotiated a term that he actually got more money in the first Iron Man than Tony did. Than Robert Downey Jr. did. He actually made more money off of his contract in the first movie than Robert Downey Jr. So when they made the second movie, they still had to pay Robert Downey Jr. even more, but then they had to pay even Terrence even more. And they were like, yeah, we simply can't afford you. Like, there's no way. And he was like, okay, I'm gone, because his agent was able to get him a really good deal. So he had a really good agent at the time. And it actually messed him up for the second movie, because he's like, I'm not going to accept doing a second movie with more work and get less pay. But you kind of have to. You're under Robert Downey Jr. You're not going to get paid more than what he is for the first movie. The first movie was an experiment to see if they could revive the MCU, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
my favorite Terrence. I will thank
Don
Terrence
Cheadle's
Howard.
okay. Yeah, he's okay.
I'll thank Terrence Howard forever, because he gave me the best line to say whenever I'm really never gonna do something again, and it's next time, baby.
Next time, baby. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But maybe not. Maybe not for. I mean, he's already shitted on the MCU. Like, he already said like things that would piss off a lot of the people on there and stuff like that. So he's kind of out there. But I think Don Cheadle he's good. He's good. I would like to see Don Cheadle get his own spinoff as well. I would like to see War Machine get his own spinoff, you know, and see how that.
All these older actors to just go
their
action lives.
I mean, it's hard. You want to see your favorite actor play that part. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, how do I? But I get it. They're all aging.
Steve, if you made a movie, you would have the Avengers all in wheelchairs. They can't walk anymore.
Hey, I mean,
999 years old.
I mean, we gotta get our characters that we grew up with. All of the actors that we grew up with, we know that. Oh yeah, that particular actor that I knew in the 90s could easily play, you know, said character in such movie. But you know, they're already like, you know, 80 years old.
Not saying that they're old.
Yeah, no, I mean,
no, not them.
Yeah,
this is a future reference, but like, not saying that they're old, but it's going to be fantastic to see Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie in the MCU.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I think that the women that were showcased in the end game, where that little snippet of them like all coming together and being like badass female warriors and stuff like that. I think that was like a nod to like some sort of spin-off where they'll actually have like more female protagonists in the MCU kicking ass and taking names. You know, but we don't talk about Miss Marvel here. We don't. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Miss Marvel, she has a TV show. She's coming.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh jeez.
Miss Marvel is going to be set up in Disney Plus, and then she's going to be in the Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel's movie too.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I like Miss Marvel. I'm thinking of Captain Marvel. Yeah, Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel's fine. That's the little girl, right? The little girl that likes things and everything.
Yeah.
That's Miss Marvel. Okay, so yeah.
That likes things.
Yeah, she's this little girl. She like likes the Avengers and other things.
No.
I'm talking about Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Just a little girl that likes.
Hey, you know what? Miss Marvel gets her own series. I'm all for it. Just we don't talk about Captain Marvel here. That's what we don't talk about. Yeah. Okay. We're good with that. Yeah. But other than that, yeah. Again, I think that if you can get some of the really cool female characters in the MCU, get them together and have them like do like a crazy cool fight, I'm all for it, because I want to see the ladies kick some ass in that aspect too. And then if you combine that with their own origin stories and put that with the rest of the cast of the MCU, like you know, with the big boys like Thor and Iron Man and what's it called, Hulk and stuff like that, it will make for a fantastic movie.
She-Hulk is coming out in a movie.
That's true too. You got She-Hulk as well.
A show.
Well, is it gonna be a show first or just a straight up movie? I don't even know.
A show first.
Jeez, dude. So Disney is just setting up the whole Disney Plus thing shows. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna slap everything that you like about Marvel. We're gonna put it into the Disney Plus, and you'll get Star Wars on top of that. Buy our service, please. We need the money.
You need to stop bringing Star Wars in this conversation.
That's what I was just saying. I mean, dude, like they're just eating everything up. It's freaking me out, man. They're on the verge of buying out the DC universe. Like they don't care. They just swallow everything. I don't know what's going on anymore. So to sum it all up, I think a 7 out of 10 for the Black Widow movie is great. I would love to see where they go with the new Black Widow, and maybe she'll have an adventure outside of, meeting with Hawkeye, to where they tell the story of how she saves the other Black Widows, and they like, maybe form a correlation or something like that, and they get them out there or something. Would be really kind of cool. I would love to see that. I think that the new actress is going to knock it out of the park, just like with Chris Pratt and his role as Star-Lord. You have characters and you have actors that are just perfect for the role, and I think that's where you get that idea of me saying, oh well, I want actors that are going to be in wheelchairs and stuff like that, because I have a vision in my mind of actors and actresses who are perfect for these parts. But the idea that Robert Downey Jr. is Tony makes so much sense to me, because the guy is literally like, there is no other person on the planet who could play Tony as well as Robert Downey Jr. Fight me. Like,
no, there isn't.
Like there isn't. So the idea of her becoming the new Black Widow, even though Scarlett knocked it out of the park and she's amazing Black Widow, I think fits just well. So,
Yeah.
Best of luck to her. Best of luck to the Disney when it comes to that. I think that I do want to see more. I am a Black Widow fan, and I do want to see more of what she can do with the new aspect of how they're going to go with her. And to be honest, a lot of stuff is just going to be series now. It's going to be kind of hard to see what they introduce in the movies.
Yeah.
Now that they're going to have so many series all lined up for all of this stuff, it's overwhelming, to be honest. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't care. Just give me more Marvel stuff and give me more DC stuff, and I'll see what happens. And I know Taskmaster was bad, but you know what? Like Joy said, it's not the only Taskmaster that might be introduced into the Marvel universe. There could be more. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, Joy, for hanging out. Thank you, chat, for being as toxic as possible. I want to be able to see more Marvel movies without being that person that's like, oh, I know what's gonna happen because it happened in the comics. I want to be surprised. I want to enjoy what I'm seeing. I want to be engaged, but at the same time, I want to know that the characters are true to their comic book form. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see a different take on the characters without ruining the story or the original origins of the characters. That's all I really want. That's the correct way to bring to life characters in the MCU, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, but again, we'll see what happens. So, thank you, chat. Thank you, Joy. And, yeah, we'll see you guys, next time. Indeed.
Bye.
Okay, hold on. Contessa Valentina Alaguela de la Fuente. Yo, let's go. I love that name.